Do you know how frustrating it is to possess key information that would change a life or be so helpful for someone, but they're just not receptive to receiving it? What do you do when people aren't willing to listen? My name is Kris Krohn, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a set of mastery skills in this short video that have made me countless millions of dollars and can do the same for you, even if your goal is nothing more than just learning how to be heard.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
So before we can really talk about what works, let's just make sure we're super clear on what doesn't work. Number one, gossip. We're talking about your character here. If you gossip and you talk bad about people, then they know that the moment they're not with you, they're wondering, are you gonna speak badly about them? Number two, people that are judgmental. You know, if you're just constantly criticizing people and judging them and basically, putting them into other categories and classes and labeling them, that's another thing that will actually keep people from really wanting to draw influence from you. You might be funny, they might like you as a human being, but you're not gonna actually wield tremendous influence. Number three is so rampant in society today, it's negativity. Like, no one wants to be influenced by someone that is perpetually that Debbie Downer, negative, just draws upon that energy. And when you get with them, you know they're going to recount the bad things that just recently happened in their life so that they can keep you abreast of everything that's not working for them. Not very different from that is complaining. You get the people out there that you're around them and it's just always the weather's, it's too hot out, it's too cold out, this isn't going well for me, my car broke down, and there's always something to whine about. And you know what? People don't want to be influenced by complainers. If you possess any of this is just making a new decision. I'm done gossiping. I'm done being the Debbie Downer. I'm done with some of the complaining that I sometimes do or talking about people behind their back. Next, you're going to have your excuses. No one wants to be influenced by someone that can't take responsibility for their own choices. Same thing, lying. If you lie, if someone thinks that you're lying, if you get caught in a lie, then there's no trustworthiness there. So someone doesn't want to be influenced by you. And if you really want someone to listen to you, these are deal killers. Number seven, exaggeration. This is your embellishers, those that are always rounding up. These are the people that are always trying to make something sound a little bit better than it maybe is, and they're sugarcoating. And the moment someone smells that a little bit, you know what they're thinking inside? I don't trust you. And so all of a sudden there's that shield, there's that defensiveness, and you're gonna lose that ability to influence. But I think probably one of the biggest killers that most people are not aware of is what I call myopia. When someone is myopic, it means that they're egocentrically just taking their opinion as truth. They only understand the world very narrowly from their own perspective. And you know what? People do not like being influenced by someone that has drunk their own Kool-Aid. Can you discern the difference between a fact and an opinion? Well, most people will take an opinion and say this is fact. And when you present opinions as facts, a lot of people, all of a sudden, they become way more careful about how they filter your information because they don't want that strong personality or your opinions to cloud their judgment from actually making their own decisions. So let's just get this out of the way. If you carry any of these with you, but you're watching this video because you're like, Kris, I want to crush it in my ability to influence people, I want to speak and I want to be heard, then ditch these. If you have any of these whatsoever, when change really occurs is when you make a decision. So just make a decision to change. But you know what? Let's talk about what we really came for. What are the 4 habits that will absolutely allow you to crush your influence so that when you speak, you do get to be heard? Okay, so let's talk about your 4 habits to crush influence, how you're gonna slay it. Okay, the first one is to understand the difference between authenticity versus your people pleaser. Now, you understand the difference between these, right? I mean, an authentic person presents themselves without filters. They communicate simply who they are. But a people pleaser, they have a special filter. They're actually saying, how do you want me to present myself? Do you want me to dress a certain way? Do you want me to speak a certain way? Are there certain things I shouldn't talk about and certain things I should? They become deeply inauthentic. And the thing is, most of these people don't know that they're actually doing it. So I want you to ask yourself, how important is it for you to have people like you? Because if that is more important to you, then there's a good chance you're a people pleaser. And listen, be a nice, kind, tactful human being. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about you being a liar, which means I'm going to chameleon myself into something that will make it easier for me to get what I want from this other person. It's just downright manipulation. But authenticity basically says, listen, you can love me, you can hate me, but I'm gonna present who I am, really. And there's something the world is craving today. Authenticity, it is missing so much. So the leaders that are the most powerful on the planet today are your most authentic leaders that people feel this natural, magnetic, gravitational pull towards, because they just like how raw. They're willing to be vulnerable. They're willing to tell you what sucks. They're willing to tell you what's amazing. I mean, they feed it to you who and how they really are as a human being. Make the choice, if you want to crush it in influence, to be authentic. Okay, next, integrity versus dishonesty. Now, I mean something a little bit different when I say dishonest here, because I don't mean blatant, outright lying. What I'm talking about is, this is my definition of integrity. Do what you say you're going to do. When you speak and you want to exert influence, if you say you're going to do something, the moment you do it, you've given them proof that you can say something and do something. But you see, the moment you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, guess what you've done? You've shown that you have the ability to lie to yourself. Like, how often have you told somebody or been in a circumstance where someone said, oh, great, yeah, I'll shoot you an email this afternoon. The next day goes by, the email isn't there, and it's not in your spam folder. And you call them up and you're like, where's the email? And you know what they say? Oh, I forgot. Now let me send that to you. They don't have the ability to do what they say they're going to do. We have natural BS meters in today's world because we're being marketed to 24/7. And what we want is to feel safe, to be who we are around people. And how we create that safety is when we're around people that we can predict who they're going to be. We can predict what they're going to do. If you say you're going to call me in 5 minutes, call me in 5 minutes. Actually, everything you speak, act on it as if it's literal, because people are constantly judging. Do you have integrity? Do you do the things that you say you're going to do? Okay, next, number 3, we have altruism versus egotistical. At the end of the day, ego is always me, my. The mantra is more. And altruism basically says, hey, listen, I can do something for me, but I'm also willing to do something for you, and I don't have to get something in exchange. Ego always has an agenda. Altruism has an intention. There's a big difference between having an intention. I could talk with someone and then maybe hope they'll join my program, but if they don't, I'm okay, because my intention is for someone to join my program, but it doesn't have to be you. Ego says, I know what's best for you. You have to do this. And the reality is we don't feel safe around people like that, especially when greed and this, when you can tell that we're really just looking out for their own self-interest. If you want to be heard, you have to be willing to do what's in the best interest of somebody else, even when it's in direct opposition to whatever is actually best for you. That wins over trust in a huge way. And the last of the habits to crush it with influence is knowing how to be upfront versus evasive. You know those people that when you interact with them, some people just know how to be upfront. They know how to be straightforward. They know how to be candid. And they don't sugarcoat it. They just filterlessly tell you how it's going to be. And there's something nice about that. I got an email from a company once that I had made an investment with that were totally putting a spin, marketing spin on something that happened bad. And I just wish they had come out and said, hey, this bad thing happened, and here's what we're going to do about it. It would have been so much more upfront. But what they did is they were absolutely evading what needed to be communicated. And you know what? People do not appreciate that. They don't like that. As we're talking about how you exert influence and how you speak in a way that you can finally be heard, we've talked about the 8 deadly sins that you want to stay away from in speaking, but we've also talked about the 4 habits for crushing it. Show up with authenticity, integrity, altruism, and be super upfront with people. If you can put those 4 bits of your character into your communication, all of a sudden, when you speak, you are going to be heard. Hey, thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope it connected with you and gave you some powerful insight on what you can do to wield greater influence. In addition, I wanted to share with you, just as a little bonus here, the thing that has helped my influence more than anything has been information that's in a book that I just wrote. This book is actually a bestseller. It's called Limitless. And this book is all about how you actually reformat your belief system to become this human being. This is, well, how do you become authentic? How do you actually step into deeper integrity? How do you become more altruistic or diminish ego? Or how do I learn how to be more candid? And at the end of the day, there's some really powerful psychological tricks that I leverage to essentially beast myself into the most ideal potential version of who I am. And it's all found here in this book, Limitless. I spent a couple $1 million of research actually writing this book, working with mentors to craft this knowledge that can't be found anywhere else on the planet. And I always produce enough extra copies of this that I can make it available for free to my friends as long as we've got excess. And right now, my friend, we do have excess. So if you click the link below, cover the shipping, and I will actually get this book in the mail to you. And I'll tell you this, if you like this video, it pales in comparison to how life-changing the information in this book really is. If I could go in time machine myself back, 15 years to the beginning and give myself one thing like Biff got the almanac, this for me would be the almanac to having the most success and the most happiness in life. So I look forward to this being on your desktop, being read and impacting you in just incredible ways. How's that for influence? Love you, friend. Hopefully you are a subscriber, and if so, I will see you on tomorrow's video.